staying safe and healthy and adjusting to this new normal that we find ourselves in. I have 3 young and very energetic children, so I know how hard it can be to try to get anything done around the house or try to work from home when you're also with your children all day. And so I wanted to make a little video about independent play, and a lot of kids can be resistant to that. The thing that has worked best for us is Play-Doh, and I know everyone knows about Play-Doh, but you might not know how easy it is to actually make your own Play-Doh from things that you probably have in your pantry. And if you don't have a couple of the ingredients, you can make some easy substitutions as well. So I'm going to show you how we do our homemade Play-Doh. It lasts for a really long time. I have a couple here that I made in the summertime, and it's still really nice and smooth and squishy and going strong. So it's just a few basic ingredients. You're going to start with 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Okay. And a 1/4 cup of salt, and the salt acts as a preservative to keep it from getting funky, to keep it nice and fresh and smooth. And 2 tablespoons of cream of tartar. You can find that in the spice aisle, and it's used often for baking and making meringues and things like that. If you don't have cream of tartar, you can use any other acid like vinegar or lemon juice. If you were going to use a liquid acid, I would wait until we add our liquid ingredients to do that. But with cream of tartar, you would add it now. Stir it up real good. And then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of oil. This is canola oil. You could use any vegetable oil. I don't think it really matters. This is a taste-safe Play-Doh, so just think about that if you're adding something like baby oil that you wouldn't want your kids to taste. So I'm gonna put that in there, and then I have 3/4 cups of boiling water. I brought it just to a boil so it's nice and hot, but not a rolling boil. I'm gonna add some food coloring to it. And if you do not have regular food coloring, you could use things like Kool-Aid or turmeric or beet juice or anything like that. Like I said, I'm making a taste-safe version, but if you weren't so worried about that, if you had older children who don't put everything in their mouths, you could even mix in some tempera or acrylic paints for your coloring. So I've got my coloring. I'm gonna mix it in. And then you're just gonna stir, stir, stir until it starts coming together. This is a really great activity to do with your children, but if you have young children, you probably wanna get this started out while it's still really hot, and then they can help you knead it in just a minute. You can see it's starting to come together. Stir, stir, stir. I always have some extra flour on hand. It seems like depending on the humidity or whatever is happening, you might want to add a little extra flour until it starts to come together into a ball. There are a lot of different recipes for homemade Play-Doh that you can find online. Some people try to do a no-cook version with just cold water. I've never gotten that to work, but a version of this always works for me with the warm water. Okay, so this is coming together into a ball. I'm gonna add just a little more flour, and then I'm gonna start kneading it. Okay, and it's still really warm, but it's not too hot. It cools off pretty quickly. And then you can knead it just like bread dough. This is a really fun sensory activity. It does get a little less sticky over time as the flour absorbs into it, but like I said, keep your little extra flour here so you can knead it in. Here's the ball of Play-Doh that I just turned out onto the counter, and I'm just giving it a little knead to make sure everything is incorporated. You can see it's really, really nice, soft texture and ready to play. I ended up using about 1¼ cups of flour, but I always do recommend starting with 1 cup and then going from there, and just mixing it a little at a time. When you're done playing, be sure to store it in an airtight container like this. And like I said, this will be good for a really long time thanks to the salt preserving it. Just make sure it is all the way cool before you seal it up.